Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to go ahead and cover how to access your syllabus on Canvas. I'm going to walk you through each one of my policies for my syllabus and answer any questions hopefully that you have. If after watching this video you do have some more questions, I'd be happy to answer them over email. So this is your Cal Poly Canvas homepage. From here, what you're going to do is click on Syllabus. And it's going to bring you to the subsections of your syllabus right here. I'm going to walk you through each individual subsection and you're going to be quizzed on this information after this lecture. We'll start with the contact information. So you can, as you probably know, my name is Morgan White. You can refer to me by Morgan, you can call me Mrs. White, Professor, whatever works for you, but I do prefer Morgan. I like to be more of on a first name basis with my students. Here's my email. If you need to get in touch with me, email is generally the best way to contact me, especially with this online quarter. Please keep in mind that my email policies are that I respond to email between the hours between about 7 a.m. and 4 or 5 p.m. every day, excluding weekends. I also give myself 24 hours to respond to emails, again, excluding weekends. So if you send me an email on Thursday at 4 p.m., I'll respond to you by Friday at 4 p.m. If you don't get a response within 24 hours, again, excluding weekends, I'll keep on saying that, then please send me a follow-up email because most likely it got lost in the jumble of student emails. My office hours this quarter, so far, I might change them based off of the student survey at the beginning of the quarter, but my office hours are going to be Mondays from 11:30 to 12:30 p.m. via Zoom, and Wednesdays from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. via Zoom. And I'll always let you know if any of that changes around. But again, my email policy is that I'm going to be checking email throughout the day, so if you have any pressing questions, I'm happy to answer it for you. Here's the course description from the Cal Poly course catalog. Keep in mind that you do need to have done, by taking this class, you do need to have done your GE Area 2 with a grade of a C- or better. So remember, D's don't get degrees with English 145, so if you got a failing grade, again, below a C- or better, in English 134 or the equivalent, then you're going to need to retake that class before you take my own. If you have any questions about that, contact your college counselor or shoot me an email. Here are the student learning objectives for this course. This is a 4-unit course, and it is during summer. So what I want you to take away from that is that we are taking the content of 10 weeks of a usual quarter, and we are cramming it into the 5-week quarter system. What that means is that you're going to need to be really diligent, and you're going to need to stay on top of every single one of your assignments in my class because it goes by very quickly. If taking a 4-unit class during this time period is not doable for you, then I do recommend that you re-examine your options for whether or not you even want to take the course. If you're up for the challenge though, I'm happy to encourage you and to be on your team to do well in this class, but I do like to warn everyone at the beginning that summer is no joke. It's very intense. So that being said, the student learning outcomes are the same for the summer as they are for a regular 10-week quarter. And you guys can look at these on your own time. Feel free to pause the video and look at them to see just what we're going to be doing this quarter. And I'll refer to them throughout the quarter as well. Course materials. So I'm really adamant about doing a zero-cost course. I don't think that it is fair or appropriate to charge students money for additional money for textbooks, and so all of my course readings are going to be completely free and online. That being said, you do need to have access, obviously, to a laptop or a tablet, and you guys can take a look at the nitty-gritty details right here. Keep in mind that the Media Resource Center on Cal Poly's campus and the PolyConnect service desk I do not think are in service right now, but you can get in touch with people from the university to get a working computer if you fall into the category of someone who fits that need. Supported browsers are listed here. I like to mention this every quarter. If you're ever having an issue uploading an assignment or doing anything tech-wise on Canvas, try opening your browser in another browser. So maybe you're working in Firefox and you try it again in Chrome. 99% of the time, that will fix whatever issue it is. So before you email me, try it in another browser and see if it works. I do not encourage you to use your phone for the content of this course. You're going to be writing essays. You're going to be doing a whole lot of writing intensive work. This is a writing class. So that being said, there might be certain situations where you do need to use a phone to take a quiz or something like that. Again, I do not recommend it, but if need be, keep in mind that Canvas has an app that you can download for your convenience. Here are my course policies. This is where I sound slightly mean, but I do need to outline them kind of off the bat so there isn't any confusion. So first of all, you guys know that this is a fully online course. Last quarter in the spring, you were kind of thrown into that unknown environment. And so most of you hopefully have taken a Canvas course before, and I know all of you have taken a course online. That being said, if you've had any issues with working the technology or anything like that, please always communicate with me before an assignment is due or anything like that. Especially if you're having problems with technology, communication is key in my class. You will receive a participation grade at the end of the quarter. The participation grade is worth 10% of your final grade, so it's not something to be taken lightly. You are required to show up to this course as you would in a regular course, but it's going to look different because the class is online. This is an asynchronous course, meaning that you take the course at your own pace with the required due dates. All of my due dates and times are going to be at 8 p.m. on the days listed on Canvas, and your major assignments will be due on Sundays by 8 p.m. What I mean by showing up in terms of participation is completing all the assignments on time, making sure that you complete the discussion posts and engage thoroughly with your partners that I give to you, but you are receiving a participation grade, so I don't want you to feel completely disconnected because of the asynchronous nature of the course. For your assignments in my class, everything is going to be posted on Canvas, which I'm going to show you in just a moment, and it's subject to change. So I might make changes, a week out for my expectations of a certain assignment or something like that. I will always email you if I make any changes, and I will always give you 24 hours notice before I make a change. So say I want to make a change for a Thursday class, then I'll give you notice for the Wednesday before of any changes that I make. Note that when you turn a paper into Canvas, it is considered a final submission. And a lot of students do this, which is totally fine. So if you upload a paper to Canvas, then I'm going to grade it as soon as I see it. Please do not make changes after you submit it. So see it as if you're giving me a physical copy of a paper. You're not going to go back and run and make a change and then reprint it and bring it back to me. The same is true for Canvas. So any changes that you make, or once you upload an assignment, you cannot make any changes. Please double check to make sure that your submissions are uploaded. Canvas will always track late papers, and it will let me know when a paper is late. And problems with technology are not an acceptable excuse for late submission. So please make sure that you give yourself enough time to submit everything. I do not encourage it, but if you happen to turn in an assignment late, no worries at all. I deduct 10 points for every day that an assignment is late. So if the assignment is due at 8 p.m. and you turn it in at 8:11 p.m., then that is considered a late submission, and the 100% will turn into a 90%. If it's 3 days late, the 100% will turn into a 70%. And Canvas automatically does that. It will dock the points at 8:01 p.m., so please make sure that you get everything in on time. Please turn in complete work. For every part of an assignment that is not complete, then you will lose 10 points. So say for your annotated bibliography, you're required to use 8 sources. Say you only turn in 7, then that will be a 10-point deduction. Say for your final research paper, the paper is supposed to be 8 pages long and you turn in 6.5, that's going to be another 10 points. So for every requirement that is not met, you will receive, in addition to the penalty on Canvas, you will receive a 10-point deduction. Because I take a lot of time to give students really thorough feedback, and please always download it and look at it, I do not negotiate grades. I do make math errors every once in a while, so let me know if you fall into that category. But but please do not think that you can kind of argue about the grade that you get. I use very clear rubrics, and they're all point-based, and so there should never be an issue about that. And I haven't had any issues with that in quite some time, actually. As a policy, I do not discuss grades over email. It makes it kind of tricky with the online quarter, but I will be happy to discuss them via Zoom with you if you'd like to make an appointment over Zoom. Please check your Cal Poly email regularly. As I mentioned, I'll let you know that if any changes to the assignment schedule that I make, I will give any kinds of announcements. So please remind yourself once every 24 hours to check your email. Before you email me a question, please always check to see if it can be answered by looking at the syllabus, the course schedule, anything like that. And then treat your emails as professional documents. Keep in mind that you should have a positive tone, treat me like you'd be responding to a boss, should be slightly formal. And the reason for that is I've gotten a lot of emails lately that are just like one lines, and I don't even know the student's name who's sending it because the email is like golf player 72 or something like that. So, so keep in mind that you want to treat them as professional documents. I'm going to give you guys a link to email netiquette with how to act in an online space. I'm sure some of your other professors gave that to you last quarter, but I just want to remind you that you should conduct yourself in the online sphere the same way that you would in person. So that's with respect and essentially professionalism. This course is my intellectual property. I completely designed it, and any time that I drew from outside sources, I always give source citations. So please know that you're not authorized to record, share, repost anything, redistribute, anything like that. And if I do catch you doing that, then you'll suffer some severe consequences through the Office of Student Rights and Responsibilities. You can get in quite a bit of trouble for violation of intellectual property. So please make sure that you keep that in mind before you think about sharing any of the course materials. Along the same lines, I do not tolerate plagiarism. You guys all know what plagiarism is. It's taking someone else's ideas, words, sentence structures, anything like that, and using it as your own. Use your own writing. It saves you a lot of time in the long run. It's ethical. There's no need for you to completely plagiarize someone else. Here are the assignments in my class. So your media presentation is going to be 10% of your final grade. In my class, your media presentation, you're going to take any kind of form of media. You're going to take maybe a meme, an advertisement, a YouTube video, a TED Talk, anything like that, and you're going to analyze it as argument. So that is 10% of your final grade, and it is a video. So you're going to be submitting a video to me. This is my first quarter doing that. I'm hoping it's going to work out. I think it will. Your participation grade, as I mentioned, is 10% of your final grade. You do have quizzes, and those are worth 10% of your final grade. The quizzes are to incentivize you to watch the video lectures and to do any of the readings that you have. They're not meant to trick you up, but they are meant to get you thinking critically about the content of the information that I'm giving you. There's no way for me to monitor whether the quizzes are open or closed notes or books, so you guys can feel free to use your notes in your books, but they are always timed. You have 10 minutes to complete each of the quizzes, so don't think, oh, I'm going to open up the quiz and I'm going to go look up the answers as I'm going. You'll run out of time if you do it that way. So instead, do the reading first, watch the videos first, and then take the quiz after. You can refer to your notes if need be. Your definition essay, which is going to be due at the end of week 1, is worth 25% of your final grade. That's the first main essay in my class. In a usual quarter, it's not until the end of week 3, but remember this is summer and it goes by very quickly. So your definition essay will be due to Canvas on Sunday by 8 p.m. And in this essay, you're going to pick a word that you want to challenge a common definition about, and we'll talk more about that later. You have an annotated bibliography for your final research paper. That's worth 10% of your final grade. You have a research paper outline, which is worth 5% of your final grade. And you have a research paper, which is going to be a claim of fact, value, or policy on whatever topic that you'd like. So start thinking now about some interesting topics to you. And that is worth 30% of your final grade, which is the equivalent of your final exam in my class. So you'll notice that you do not have a final exam. I was very close to actually making one, and I don't think that it's fair in the 5-week quarter to do that. So the quizzes are going to replace the final exam, which is why you want to do really well on the quizzes, and it's why the quizzes are worth so much. But your research papers really what you want to put all of your effort and time and energy into in this class. Here's my grading table. It's pretty self-explanatory. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. Actually, ignore this. This is for my other class last quarter. I need to delete it. All right, so accessibility. If you're having any kind of support or issues with online courses, there's a number of resources for you to get in contact with. You guys can look at this on your own time. If you're a student with a disability, please let me know as soon as you can what your individual learning needs are. You don't need to tell me what you have or anything like that, but I do need to know what your accommodations are. Usually I receive an email at the beginning of the quarter from the DRC. Please have them send it to me sooner rather than later so I can get you all squared away in my system. Here's some additional support. So the Writing and Learning Center, which is the Cal Poly Writing Center, what it used to be called actually, is a phenomenal resource for a course like this. I highly recommend that you make online appointments with them. I believe that they're open during the summer virtually, but you guys can look at that at your own time. English 150 is a 1-unit course that acts as a complement to this course if you'd like to enroll in it. It's a pass, no pass course. Again, I think it's being offered in the summer, but it's something you might want to look into. If you want to, email Don Jenke and just say that Morgan White sent you. But what's really great about English 150 is that it's a personalized tutor that will incentivize you to do well in my class. They'll look over your essays for you and kind of help you brainstorm, all that kind of fun stuff. I value diversity, and I deliberately make my class inclusive, especially in this current political climate. I took a very extensive training in diversity and inclusivity, and I feel very, very passionately about it. So you guys can take a look at this list here of all the reasons why I value diversity in my course. Student support and basic needs. This might not be as relevant if you're not living on campus, but keep in mind that right now we do have food pantry resources. You guys can look this up on your own time. And there's a number of resources that we have to ensure your success in my course. The main takeaway that I want you to have as you approach this online course is that A, it's going to be really intense, but B, I'm here to support you, and Cal Poly is here to support you in terms of your learning needs. All right, so here's what your assignment schedule looks like. I'm going to just do this quickly because I already have an 18-minute video. Each one of your weeks is going to be organized exactly the same. Each day you're going to have a number of deliverables, and you're just going to want to follow the steps that are outlined for you. As I mentioned, every night by 8 p.m. is when your information is due to Canvas. So you'll notice for the first day of class, you're required to complete a getting to know you survey for me, participate in an icebreaker, and take a syllabus and lecture quiz. There's going to be 2 lectures for this first day. And then you can scroll from here and see. Notice that every Sunday a major assignment is going to be due. So for Sunday, June 28th, your definition essay is due. Sunday, July 5th, your media analysis presentation is due. Sunday, July 12th, your annotated bibliography is due. Sunday, July 19th, your research paper outline is due. And finally, the last day of class, which is Thursday, July 23rd, is when your final research paper is due. And again, just follow all the tips that are on Canvas for you, and let me know if you have any questions. I look forward to meeting you online, and please do not hesitate to reach out to me if you would like to chat. Thanks.